I'm Cheryl Waters. You've got it tuned to the Midday Show on KEXP, where the music matters. And I am down in the KEXP studios with Steve Gunn. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
It is always wonderful to see you. And absolutely gorgeous new album, The Unseen In Between.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear you play these songs live on KEXP.
Thanks a lot.
Take it away.
Flat, you're an empty stare from a vagrant cat, you're a vagabond. Bag is packed and you move along. Mona came from the sea, caught land gracefully. The night is cold, but you know it felt so free. Try to clean some tombstones, like lovers in a shattered and crooked dream. Such a heavy load, you know it's so far gone. He tells me he can't hack it in his old black leather jacket. Keep a hold on to your strangeness, a rolling hole. When we meet him at the train station, he was dressed to the nines. Things are changing now, we'll move along. You're an empty stare from a vagrant cat, you're a vagabond. Suitcase packed and you move along. Move along.
That sounds so nice. Steve Gunn live here in the KEXP studios. That song Vagabond is on the new record, The Unseen In Between. And tonight, Steve Gunn and his band playing at the Tractor Tavern here in Seattle.
It's not there for him to know. Call him free with time to go, and it holds you back. Oh yeah, there's no way for chance to go. Had a friend in his better days, disappears but always pays you back. Back. Oh yeah, there's nothing but clouds of black. It's all deceiving. I hope you chance believing. Bring them back is all he'll ask. Stand them up and get on track, but there's no way back. And there's no war calling home. Take what is needed. It's all deceiving. I hope you chance believing. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no
That sounds so great. It's Steve Gunn live on KEXP, the new album, The Unseen In Between, out on Matador Records. I love these new songs, Steve.
Thank you so much.
I actually got a chance to see you do one of your residency shows at Union Pool.
Oh, cool.
In October, and it was really fun to hear you playing those new songs. You were actually inviting or even encouraging the audience to heckle you, but the band sounded so great.
Awesome.
And Lee Ronaldo even came out and did a Blazing Neil Young cover with you at the end that nobody could come up with anything to give you a hard time. But that sounds like such a fun way to start playing those songs. How did that come about? Is that something you do with a lot of your records?
No, that was an idea that my manager Michael came up with, and we were friendly with the people at Union Pool, and that venue is a place where I've played many times, so it's kind of friends and family sort of thing.
It did feel like a family environment.
Yeah, it was. We could have our friends DJ and our friends play, and so I kind of chose people who are, from the area and people who are like sort of my heroes to come and to play. And it was a really great, we did it 3 nights, and it was really fun.
It was a lot of fun to be in the audience. It was such an intimate show. And this new record is so gorgeous, and it is very intimate. Can you tell me a little bit about these songs?
Sure. This album was sort of a long time coming. I had been traveling and been touring for about 4 or 5 years, and all this stuff sort of happened in my life, and I just decided to kind of take a step back. In the past, I was always writing songs on the road and just kind of cramming everything in, and this time I gave myself some sort of isolated time and some, just like a place, I have a rehearsal space, and I didn't travel, and I just worked for a few months. And it was sort of the first time that it sounds weird, but it was the first time that I tried to write an album that way, where I, just gave myself upwards to about a year, to write it.
It feels like it was a good experience.
Yeah, it was a mixture of different things, emotions and, sort of therapeutic, cathartic kind of processes and things like that.
It sounds like you had never really had such quiet time around it when you talk about it being emotional.
I think in the past I was just, sort of trying to work quickly, and this time I decided to slow it down a bit.
It left space for those emotions, it sounds like, and did they make it into the record? I know that at least a couple of songs are a tribute or about or tied to your father.
Yeah, I think it definitely, he passed away when I was on the road, and I was thinking a lot about him and just about where I came from, where my parents come from and the area that I grew up in, and just kind of thinking about my family history. And, his story from sort of the beginning to the end was super interesting to me. And our relationship became more interesting. And I was being very sort of introspective at the time I was writing the record, and also just a bit more personal. I think a lot of the songs that I've written in the past are about observations of other things and other people, and this time I was giving myself some sort of alone time and working on the songs in a more kind of solitary way,
You talked a second there about where you grew up, and I know you grew up in the Philadelphia area, and you've lived in New York for some time, and you seem to have really built a community of people around you who inspire you and move your work forward. This band sounds incredible with you.
Thank you so much.
You've collaborated with so many wonderful people. Can you talk a bit about the community that you have around you?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you saw the show in New York, because there were a lot of people there that I've known over the years in New York. Someone like Lee Ronaldo, who is a hero of mine but has now become a friend. And there's all these musicians that I've met, both in Philly and New York, where, I just kept in touch with them. And there's a number of studios and different people who are on the road and touring and giving advice and just playing shows and hanging around and asking questions and learning. And that's been about 10 years. So I definitely value that.
Might be a good time to introduce your band.
Sure. This is TJ on the drums. This is Liam over here on the bass, Paul on guitar, and Meg on piano and vocals.
You all sound so great together, and I've always been delighted by some of the cool collaborations you've done. I came into this session playing that new Michael Chapman album, True North, and I mean, what a veteran musician he is. And you produced that record and appear on it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Michael is someone who I've been friends with for a while. Similarly, I've, been listening to his albums forever and finally got the chance to meet him and play shows with him. And we became fast friends, traveling around Europe and playing concerts together. And I think we just developed a deeper kind of trust and deeper friendship as we got to know each other. And we were both working on music a lot in the same, around the same time. And I knew musicians who admired him as well and wanted to help and wanted to play on his albums. And I produced one before this called 50, and we brought him here to the States, and it kind of put together a band and made sort of a band record. And then he wanted me to help him again. I think we just sort of developed a sense of trust. I had a really hard time telling him to like do another vocal take or do another guitar. It wasn't as good. It was really a tough thing to do, but I think he let me do it and he listened, which was kind of an awesome experience.
How did it feel different making a record in his home as opposed to when he came over here?
Yeah, I wanted the album to really represent like when he performs solo, it's very strong, and I think there's a tendency to take him in the studio with a big band and everyone's like playing, and there's a little bit of that sort of strength kind of just pulled away from him. And he's such an amazing performer, and he's been doing it for so long. This is his 51st year of touring or something like that. And I wanted to kind of be in his place and be in his comfort zone. And we went to this beautiful house in Wales and invited a few musicians. Incredible. There's a pedal steel player from London named BJ Cole, and Bridget St. John, who is also an amazing singer-songwriter in her own right, an old friend of Michael's. She also came, and it was this really small group, and it was really an awesome experience.
It sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And I do love your new record so much, The Unseen In Between. I want to focus on that, but I do want to ask about one other friendship that you have, because it kind of ties with something local here. Light in the Attic Records has been doing this Japanese archival series, and I know you've become friends with Sachiko Kananobu.
Yeah.
And they're re-releasing an album that was made over 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know you're kind of captivated by her music. And the reason I want to bring it up is that I love her voice so much, and I feel like your voice anchors your songs, and you kind of had to force yourself to sing. You focused a lot on instrumental music early on, and tell me a little bit about how you brought that forward for yourself and got more comfortable with that, because I feel like it's such an important element of your songs.
With singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was, as you said, I was a guitar player, but like nerding out on all these different styles, and I'm kind of self-taught. So I was sort of heading into this so-called sort of virtuosic territory, but I never really felt that way about being a guitar player. And I wasn't really a singer, but I was interested in writing songs, and I was kind of doing it privately. And then this was a long time ago, basically made a CD of songs. And some people heard it in Europe, and they invited me to a show, and I said, oh, I guess I got to go over there and do this. I got to sing. So it was the first time, and I never sang in high school or anything like that. So it was a challenge that I was there was sort of sweat dripping down my back a bit, and I was very nervous, but it was also nice to just kind of jump into it. I imagine it was a little easier to go far away, where people you didn't know in the audience. I was going to say that led to more tours in Europe, and that's really where I figured it all out, singing in front of people I didn't know, and being, playing solo and having to project your voice and not hiding. And, I think I've come a long way, even just from like previous albums. And I think with this new album too, I really wanted to have it be sort of vocally forward. It is. I love it. Do you enjoy it now? You enjoy singing? I do, very much, yeah. The new album from Steve Gunn called The Unseen In Between, and playing tonight at the Tractor Tavern. I could talk to you all day, but I think maybe we should hear some more music. I also love that you brought 4 guitars, and it looks like you're going to play them all today. 4 guitars, 4 songs. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you.
It's all right here on the floor. I see a shadow by the door. Roll the gate, turn your key, unlock your golden song for me. Good morning. For the big rush of the day, make sure that you're not in the way. This is my first place, space and time, so I'll just hang and watch the light move slowly. Nighttime here with odds and ends. I hear him howling with his friends. Sometimes it's Jesus who he calls, and you just hope that they're all there for him, like he was there for me. I'll take you down, but I'm fine. Pick me up, safe and sound. I'll take you down. Glad I'm fine.
We're live in the KEXP studios with Steve Gunn, performing songs from his new album, The Unseen In Between. Tonight he'll be playing at the Tractor Tavern here in Seattle. Is it true that song was written partly from the perspective of a cat?
Yes.
Is the cat Luciano?
The cat is Luciano, yes.
I don't know why that delights me.
Move through the lot, barely awake. Pink blue light on a slow day breaks along. Spaces in the dark feel far away. Called to mind a place where it used to rain. I see you in a nothing sky. Now the morning is mended. You moving through. There's a likeness to defend it. Morning is mended. Morning is mended. Song and sea came out of me. Left it on the steps and I walked away, goodbye. Don't wait long, I'll be gone. Thoughts of you are etched upon my mind. I'm a nothing sky. Stories never ending. You moving through. There's a likeness to defend it. Morning is mended. Morning is mended.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, jinx. You've got it tuned to KEXP. This has been Steve Gunn, and again, playing tonight at the Tractor Tavern. And again, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You all sounded wonderful. You've got it tuned to KEXP Seattle. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.